Alright, we are back with another video. In today's video, we are talking about what would happen if Leon did not kill Sayaka in Chapter 1. So, in this alternative universe, Leon does not kill Sayaka, obviously. But, what changes? Well, we're going to be seeing what changes right now. But before I get to this video, this was a request video done by Seath Jackal. I think I pronounced the first part right. Um, Thank you to him. He makes videos of his own. He makes his own channel content. Go watch his stuff. Go support him. He's a follower of Christ like me. Amen. But yeah, mine's from that. Check out his channel, and thank you for the requests and for the idea in general. But anyway, everyone's not here for the thank you. They're here to hear the actual timeline. So yeah, let's talk about how the timeline plays out. So we're in alternative chapter 1 of Trigger Happy Havoc. Now in this case, there's really only a few scenarios here. Either Monokuma decides not to do the motive, which honestly seems the very least in character for him. So I'm just going to go with the assumption that Monokuma still goes through with this motive in this timeline. But instead, Leon doesn't kill Sayaka. Now as for how this works, either Sayaka does not go through with killing anyone, or maybe Sayaka still decides to go through with it, but instead Leon decides not to go through with killing Sayaka. Which seems like the most interesting case scenario for me, so I'm just going to go with the assumption Leon picks not to kill Sayaka. So Leon decides to run away as soon as he defeats Sayaka in the fight, and Sayaka's locked in the bathroom. So Leon decides not to go through with killing her as revenge for trying to kill him. Instead, he just runs off into his room. Sayaka would probably rat out Leon and would probably use it as a way to be like, he hurt me last night. Sayaka would either tell the truth or lie, but honestly, in the killing game, I'm pretty sure Sayaka's just gonna lie. And even Hifumi said it himself, same with Celestia, that Sayaka was most likely gonna use her fame to try to get the others into going after and voting for Makoto in Chapter 1. So I'm pretty sure in this case she would have done the same thing here and tricked everyone into hating on Leon and she'd basically play the victim. That's basically what she would do. And even Makoto would fall for it, obviously. I feel like a few characters like Celestia and Kyoko and Byakuya wouldn't fall for it. Almost everyone else would most definitely fall for Sayaka's little those three in particular, along with Leon, obviously, who's being blamed and set up for it, they don't know the truth. And for Chapter 1, I'm pretty much certain that everyone's just going to hate on Leon and not trust him. I don't think no one would kill Leon outright, but I'm pretty sure a majority of the cast wouldn't like Leon, and they'd be saying all this stuff about how, you try to kill a woman, you're a terrible person. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure Sayaka says something to Makoto about how someone was trying to go after her during that chapter, like as a lie, so she can go through with her plan of trying to kill Leon. So I'm pretty much certain that in this timeline, Makoto would just believe Leon was the one trying to go after Sayaka this whole time, was actually trying to kill her. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the scenario I go with. That's Makoto generally just believes Sayaka was, a victim in all this, and he generally doesn't think Sayaka is that bad of a person. But yeah, that's honestly all I could really say for Chapter 1. I don't think anything would honestly change after that point. I think we'd just get a longer story, and Monokuma would realize that the first motive did not work, which would be a very interesting twist, that motive actually didn't work. Like, I think in any other killing game it'd be interesting, but for Chapter 1 of Trigger Happy Havoc, it would be weird, to say the least. But let's continue and see how would the rest of the story play out, then, shall we? Now, when it comes to Chapter 2, I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious what the secret motive will be on, or in particular, who will get a secret motive. Also, on a side note, another possibility I realized is that Mukuro/Junko might still be alive? Maybe? If we're going with a scenario where it's similar to Danganronpa If, where no matter what, Mukuro/Junko was gonna attack Monokuma and then get herself killed, then maybe she still dies? I don't know. I'm gonna say for the sake of the plot, it doesn't really matter. I don't think her survival or her chances of living or dying, I don't think it really affects the plot, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna really leave it up to your imagination. I think she'll be alive just because I like her. But Chapter 2, I could see this being a good excuse to use Sayaka's whole trying to kill Leon as a way to try to get her to kill. kind of like how they got Toko's serial killer thing as her secret identity to try to get her to kill, or Chihiro secretly being a man. They could try to use all that as a way to get Sayaka to kill. And in theory, this could lead to Sayaka actually killing someone. That, or she would probably mastermind a better plan. She probably wouldn't go after Leon in this timeline, and would probably just go after someone stupid like Hifumi or something, or someone extremely weak like Chihiro. Now, for the sake of the plot, I'm going to say she doesn't kill, and instead I'm going to assume Mondo probably just kills Chihiro like he canonically does, because Sayaka's arm would be broken by this point, so I don't think she'd actually be able to kill anyone. By this point, Sayaka's going to have a broken arm for probably the rest of the game, unless Monokuma heals it. I mean, he was able to turn Nekomaru into a robot, so if he can do that, I'm pretty sure Monokuma can just magically heal Sayaka's arm back to normal. That's just food for thought. But, yeah. Minus from that, I don't really think too much for Chapter 2, I guess, would really change. If we're going with the assumption that, like, Chihiro just gets killed by Mondo and that's really all that happens, Sayaka and Leon wouldn't play a part in the chapter. Assuming Mukuro's here, I don't think she's going to play a part in the chapter either. I don't even think Chapter 2 would honestly play really any difference in this timeline that the original had, except that we just had 3 extra characters with us. And the only difference is that Chihiro would be the first death and Mondo would be the first execution instead. But that would honestly be it for Chapter 2, in my opinion. Now, for Chapter 3, I think this one could be a more interesting one. I think instead, Celestia might actually frame Leon instead of Yasuhiro, which would make a lot of sense because in the canon, if you remember, in this alternative timeline, Leon did not kill Sayaka, but however, Sayaka would lie, saying something about how Leon almost killed her, but she had to lock herself in the bathroom just so Leon wouldn't kill her. In this timeline, I'm just going to assume for the sake of the plot that Celestia knows that she can use that against Leon, and maybe either tricks him in Hifumi's spot, or alternatively just uses him as the decoy in Yasuhiro's place. In this timeline, you could potentially have Hifumi live if you want, but I don't think Celestia would blackmail Leon into helping her. Let alone, I don't really think Leon would really be willing to be blackmailed to kill someone. That's just my opinion. I think Leon would most likely just take Yasuhiro's place as a red herring. No pun intended, obviously, because he has red hair. But I don't think nothing else would change for Chapter 3. I just think, realistically, that would be a good chapter for Sayaka to reveal the truth that this whole time she was lying and how she was never actually, she was going to try to kill Leon the whole time, and the whole time she was just lying because, you know, she didn't want to get killed or get herself in trouble, because if she almost killed someone, there was a good chance to be a target on her back. So yeah, she basically treated Leon bad, and it almost got everyone killed in the process. Give Sayaka at least some kind of character development, in my honest opinion. And then I'm pretty sure everything for Chapter 3 just goes the same. Unfortunately, Ishimaru is killed by Hifumi, and Celestia still kills Hifumi, so everything kind of just goes the same. And then Celestia still gets executed. So, like, and nothing really, honestly, would change in Chapter 3. Nothing I could really see being game-changing from the canon. And that's honestly all I really have for Chapter 3 of Trigger Happy Havoc in this timeline. Now we're on for Chapter 4. Now in this timeline, I don't think much would honestly change again either. Obviously, we would have Sayaka and Leon around. Debatably, Mukuro. I don't know. In my opinion, I think Leon could just probably fulfill a similar role that Yasuhiro and Aoi... not Aoi, but Yasuhiro and Toko. I could see him being an extra person who goes in and hits Sakura in the head with a bottle, like how Yasuhiro and Toko did. Maybe he does it like after or before them or something. I don't know. But I don't think much would honestly change. I think that no matter what's going to happen, I'm pretty much certain Yasuhiro and Toko would still hit Sakura in the head with a bottle. I don't think Leon would be able to kill her with a bottle shot to the head, though. So I don't think Sakura is dying to Leon or anything, or dying to Toko, assuming Leon does it first or second. So by that logic, I still think Sakura is taking her own life, and we still get everything in Chapter 4 going the same, honestly. Nothing else I can really think of. I don't think Sayaka would be part of Team Don't Trust Sakura. But then again, it would be pretty funny if she didn't trust Sakura, which would be pretty hypocritical and funny. Because this whole time, she basically was lying to the team as well. So her calling out Sakura and saying, "You were lying to us too," I could see it being funny if like someone was like, You were lying to us as well. Don't be a hypocrite, dude. It'd be funny, honestly. But I doubt that would happen. I'm pretty sure Sayaka would try to defend Sakura or something. I can't really see Chapter 4 honestly changing, in my opinion. Minus from just Leon and Sayaka lurking around for the story, and maybe even Mukuro. I don't really think Chapter 4 would honestly change, and that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's just personally what I think. AI still gets destroyed. Alright, now we're in Chapter 5. So, in this timeline, without Mukuro, what happens? Now, the entire thing here is that Junko was using the whole Mukuro being the Secret 16 student. Now, if we're going with the timeline where Junko still kills Mukuro in Chapter 1, like she does in the canon, and then everything like that basically just goes the same, I feel like nothing would honestly change except that Sayaka might have some kind of bigger role in the story. I personally don't get the feeling she would stay behind with the others. Leon probably would, so I think Leon's going to chill with Yasuhiro, Toko, Byakuya, and Aoi. But I think in the case of Sayaka, she may actually just stay around with Makoto, maybe even with Kyoko. But I don't really think anything would honestly change. I can't really think of any other changes, honestly, for this. Now, assuming we go to a timeline where Mukuro's alive, this could definitely change up a lot. For starters, I could see Junko potentially going after Kyoko or Sayaka in her place. She could try to attack Mukuro, and maybe trick Mukuro into doing it, but a possibility is that maybe Mukuro doesn't go through with it and maybe rebels against Junko, which I think would probably be a better case scenario for her. So I'm thinking Kyoko or maybe Sayaka could die on her spot, which is more of a maybe. But I could see one of the three girls here dying instead. I mean, I guess it just kind of lessens one of Makoto's harem girls out of the story, so I'd say that fits better. So it gives Makoto at least some character development if we're going that route. And I'm going to say for the sake of the plot, I'm going to go with the timeline where Mukuro lives, like I said earlier. So basically for me, from chapters 1 through 4, nothing would honestly change, or only at least 2 through 4. For 1, Sayaka, Leon, and Mukuro are still alive. 2, unfortunately, Chihiro dies to Mondo. 3, unfortunately, Ishimaru dies to Hifumi, but Hifumi's killed by Celestia. And then Chapter 4, Sakura still takes her own life. So by Chapter 5 standards, I feel like by this point, Junko would either go through with killing Kyoko, since killing Makoto is going to fail at that point, or she's able to kill Sayaka, or just kills Mukuro, or tricks her into taking her own life. I don't really think there's any particular scenario that would work the best. I'd probably just have Kyoko die, since I care about her the least from the three, in my opinion. But, yeah, that's honestly all I could really say here. I don't really have anything I could say on Chapter 5 in general, except that I'd probably just have Kyoko die here instead. Maybe Sayaka could, I don't know. Or Mukuro. It generally doesn't matter. I'm just gonna stick with... honestly, it doesn't really matter who dies, but that's just my opinion. Now, when it comes to Chapter 6, I don't really think anything would honestly change. Or at least there's nothing I can think of that would really change. I guess Mukuro being there to rebel against Junko sounds cool. Sayaka can help Makoto out. There's really nothing I can really think of. Basically nothing really changes. The only change is that we have 2, maybe 3 extra survivors. No, you'd probably have only just 2 extra survivors, because I feel like potentially Kyoko could get replaced in this timeline. Since I feel like one of the girls between Kyoko, Sayaka, and Mukuro are dying in Chapter 5. I don't see Leon... If you're going to say, like, Leon could die here, I realistically don't think it fits. Because I feel like an important character is going to die. And I doubt Leon would be important enough in the story to die. Not only that, but I honestly think he's just going to be with Byakuya, Yasuhiro, Aoi, and Toko. So there's really no way Junko could get to him and kill him. So that just leaves, Sayaka, Kyoko, and Mukuro left. Now, I guess for that, I don't really think Chapter 6 changes, but the question now would be, what happens after Trigger Happy Havoc? Like, what does the aftermath look like? Because, you know, you have the Danganronpa 3 anime, you got Goodbye Despair to an extent, you also have, what was it? Ultra Despair Girls, yeah, that was it. I think when we're talking about the, I guess one changes off the bat is, like, Despair Arc doesn't change because of it being a prequel, so that's automatically skipped. Future arc. I'll go with Ultra Despair Girls first, actually, because that was the first one to come in. So, Ultra Despair Girl wise, maybe Mukuro helps out. It'd be cool, honestly, but that's honestly all I can see. I think Mukuro can help out, and that would generally just be it. I don't think nothing would honestly change. I think everything that happens in UDG stays the same, except Mukuro can help out, so maybe the story's a little bit shorter. I don't know. If we're talking about Goodbye Despair, Kyoko, assuming if she's dead by this point, is just replaced by either Sayaka or Mukuro, or maybe even both. Byakuya and Makoto are still there together, obviously, and then everything for that part of the story just kind of goes the same. I can't really think of anything else for like Chapter 6, I guess, or at least for that part for Chapter 6 of Goodbye Despair. Because it's not really like Makoto and his friends really did much in the story, and they were all three kind of just replaceable, honestly, at the end. They were just there. Now that kind of just leads to the future arc, and Kyoko is probably just going to get replaced by like Mukuro or Sayaka. Alternatively, I don't really think much would change. If we're talking about like Leon's role, like if you're interested in knowing what he would do after the events of Trigger Happy Havoc, he wouldn't be in Ultra Despair Girls, and he wouldn't be in he'd be in the future arc, in my opinion. But I get the feeling he'd probably just play a Yasuhiro role. I don't know if exactly he'd be with Yasuhiro and being a character who has to contact Byakuya and the others. That could be a route you could go with, but another route is maybe he's participating in the killing game in this version of the story. He could actually die, which I personally would have had a Trigger Happy Havoc character, or at least an older Trigger Happy Havoc character like Kyoko or Aoi die in the story, or even Makoto for that matter. I think someone from the past killing games dying in the future arc would have actually been a pretty tragic ending and would have made definitely some good development. So, yeah, like, realistically, if I were to add Leon in, maybe he can join the killing game and he can sacrifice himself for some kind of noble cause. I don't know. Maybe he can just take Kyoko's spot, but maybe he stays dead for good. Or maybe Sayaka or Mukuro can die. I don't know. I doubt whoever takes Kyoko's spot is probably going to live, most likely. Whether it be Sayaka or whether it would be Mukuro. Even if it's Leon, I'm pretty sure there's a good chance they're living no matter what, because of the whole what was her name? Siko, I think her name was. Siko, the medicine girl, her having that antidote for the poison that Mikan was able to give to Kyoko. I think it was Mikan who made it, or was Siko. I don't even remember how to pronounce her name. Jeez. I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce it or look it up, but yeah, her or Mikan, I don't remember who made the medicine, but they were able to save Kyoko. So I'm pretty sure if Kyoko is not in this timeline, Sayaka, Leon, or Mukuro should be able to easily replace her and play that role in the story. It would be hard. I mean, realistically, it would be hard to replace Kyoko's problem-solving ability. But then again, Mukuro seems like she's probably really smart, so maybe she can replace Kyoko to an extent. I don't know if she can pull it off as well as Kyoko did. Probably not. But yeah, overall, I'm kind of thinking for this overall story that Chapter 1 would obviously just be a deathless chapter. Chapter 2, Chapters 2, 3, and 4 go the same. And then Chapter 5, I'd probably just kill off Kyoko, in my personal opinion. And then for Chapter 6, nothing would honestly change. My key survivors, the only survivors would be an 8-cast survivor, and it'd basically just be Kyoko being replaced with Mukuro. And then obviously Leon and Sayaka as extra characters. And then for the Aftermath, I'd probably just keep most of it the same, honestly. I think maybe Mukuro can help on Ultra Despair Girls. Sayaka could maybe show up in Goodbye Despair in Kyoko's place. Maybe Mukuro shows up too. Maybe it could just be both of them with Byakuya and Makoto. Or it's Makoto and the two girls only. Which probably just creates the illusion that Byakuya was actually part of Goodbye Despair this whole time and he just became fat for some reason. Yeah, that's honestly all I could really think of. And then the last one was the future arc, which I'm pretty much certain. I don't really think anything would honestly change in theory, except that Kyoko's role is just replaced by literally anyone else, because I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. But that's it for the what if. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And special thanks to Jackal for requesting this what if. If you have any other what ifs, Jackal, or if anyone has any what ifs in general, whether it be on Danganronpa or JoJo or pro wrestling in general, I don't really mind. Leave them in the comments, and hey, who knows? Maybe I'll cover them one day if they pique my interest, if they tickle my fancies. But yeah, that's it for the what if. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a lovely day. Whatever. Yeah, I'm just finding new ways to end these videos with weird whatevers. All right, bye.